With the release of Jurassic World Evolution 3 being in the near future, or recently released based on when this video gets out, I decided it would be a fun idea to rank and discuss how good each of the dinosaurs would be to eat. And when I say dinosaurs, I do mean all prehistoric creatures included within the game. And obviously, as they add more and more dinosaurs and other prehistoric creatures, I will keep doing more of these videos and updating the tier list. And I should also mention this is a part 1 of the series, as I did not want to spend 3 hours editing this video. So right now we're just going to do a few species and then we'll pick it back up from there. So let's take our imaginations and most importantly our taste buds on a thrilling prehistoric adventure. The first dinosaur on our list, if you couldn't tell by the poorly photoshopped turkey, is Edmontosaurus. Now I think Edmontosaurus may have been the most delicious dinosaur maybe ever. It's got a fair balance of fat and muscle. It's a herbivore, so we know it's not ingesting a ton of questionable food sources. So we know it's not really like scavenging on rotten flesh or eating food it's not supposed to. We would hope. Let's hope this Edmontosaurus isn't eating roadkill. Although if it is, it would taste disgusting. However, the way it's presented in Jurassic World Evolution 3, I guess all the Jurassic World Evolution games, it's got a fair amount of heft. It's got about the same build and proportions in terms of fat and muscle as a cow. Also, gator is delicious. I'm gonna bring this up time and time again. Gator and chicken are delicious, and they are two of the dinosaurs' closest reliving relatives, and probably also the dinosaurs' closest analog. So I think Edmontosaurus would be delicious. So therefore, I'm putting Edmontosaurus in S. I think every part of this creature would be amazing to eat. And yeah, I don't think there's any way you could go wrong with Edmontosaurus. Our next stop on our prehistoric adventure is Lokiceratops. I'm going to mention the same points I did with Edmontosaurus. Lokiceratops, in terms of size, build, diet, and lifestyle, isn't too dissimilar from a cow or a very large pig. Granted, there are some nuances, as a bison to ceratopsian comparison isn't exactly 1-to-1. However, even though the Lokiceratops doesn't look too fatty, it's not shrink wrapped, and that could also be very thick skin. However, Lokiceratops would still taste fantastic, but there is another benefit: the protein in its meat. It seems comparatively low in fat, and you need that protein to get them gains. So Lokiceratops being sold and marketed as like cheap, lean meat, well, probably wouldn't be sold cheap, but lean meat, or being turned to some sort of extract as a protein supplement, I could see. But also, even though it's not got the most impressive horns, I do think Lokiceratops and other ceratopsian horns or frills or other armor would be sold and peddled on the black market. All in all, I'm putting Lokiceratops in A tier, as I think it tastes good. It's probably healthier than Edmontosaurus, and you know what? It's probably going to be cheaper. And also, if you're a Lokiceratops farmer, you're probably going to make more money, because although Edmontosaurus is a very cool dinosaur, Edmontosaurus combs probably don't get sold for all that much. Alright, our next entry is the Mosasaurus. Now this is going to be a little bit out there, right? First off, this is the first non-dinosaur, as Mosasaurus is technically a very large squamate, which makes her more related to my pet bearded dragon than any dinosaur. But that's besides the point. The Mosasaurus in Jurassic World looks very alligatorian, right? It's probably not pure Mosasaurus. They definitely put some whale in there and some gator or saltwater crocodile to help, fill in the gaps of the genetic code. And Yeah, supposedly whale tastes delicious. I know personally gator's pretty good. Monitor lizard can't be that bad. There's places where monitor lizard is eaten. So yeah, Mosasaurus, I'd say be pretty good. And also, Mosasaurus is huge. You kill one Mosasaurus, you could feed dozens of people. So for all of that, Mosasaurus goes in B tier. I think from all the sharks and fish it's eating, it's gonna get a little bit of that sulfury fish taste in its meat, but it's not gonna be horrible, and Mosasaurus as an ingredient is probably going to bring some character and definitely bring the flavor in any dish it's used. Our next entry is the second non-dinosaur creature, the Megalodon, an enormous shark. Although Megalodon eats whale, I doubt it would taste very good. It might taste marginally better than a regular shark, but shark meat is a rare delicacy, and if nothing else, the principle. I don't really want to eat shark fin soup. It really doesn't seem like shark can be that good if it's such a rare dish. So you know what? Megalodon goes in C tier. Not awful, not great. And our next stop is our first synapsid, being Dimetrodon. Now, this is the closest we've gotten to a mammal or a creature that people have eaten. But Dimetrodon, it doesn't look like it would taste good. It doesn't really have any unique qualities that would make it particularly, enjoyable to eat or have any parts of its body that I'd be willing to try. Maybe the tail. Maybe it's like a gator and the tail's pretty good. But the rest of it, it's probably this stringy meat as the Dimetrodon is roaming through swamps, eating amphibians and small reptiles, and maybe fish. It is not going to be great. D tier. Next is Velociraptor. Now this is going to be a little bit of a controversial take. Velociraptor is a dromaeosaur, so theoretically it should taste just like chicken and ostrich. But the way Velociraptor is presented in the Jurassic Park franchise, it's skinny, it's shrink wrapped, it's featherless. Depending on what ecosystem they're in, they fight each other a lot, as we see in the Lost World. So their pack structures are kind of all over the place. And yeah, I don't think Velociraptor would be a good animal to eat, the way it's presented here. Other dromaeosaurs might be delicious, but this Velociraptor, it's probably gristly, it's chewy, it probably tastes gross, and yeah, Velociraptor, probably not good to eat, although it's probably still getting sold at cheap prices because only the wealthy can afford to have Edmontosaurus burgers. So Velociraptor goes in F. Joining Velociraptor in F tier is our venomous friend, the Dilophosaurus. Everything I just said about the Velociraptor applies to the Dilo. It's shrink wrapped, it's skinny, it looks disgusting. Go on, not really disgusting. They both look ugly, but kind of cool ugly, right? But yeah, not good creatures to eat. Now maybe the paleo-accurate versions of Velociraptor and Dilophosaurus, they may have been good to eat. Maybe Dilophosaurus may have been kind of good to eat. However, here it's venomous, it's frilly, it's skinny, it's gross, F tier. Joining Dimetrodon in D tier is Geosternbergia. Now, although it is a beautiful creature, a great 3D model, probably one of the best representations of pterosaurs we've seen in a while. However, there's no meat on a pterosaur, and I don't think it tastes that good. It probably tastes like chewy and stringy fish. And you know what? Maybe parts of it could be used in a stew if you want to cut it into thin slices and put it in a broth with some onions and spices. That'd be great. However, I do think that the wings and unique hide coloring of the Geosternbergia would look great as cloth or clothing. So here I kind of made this drawing. It's not really in line with the Jurassic World evolution storyline, but I don't know. If this is inspiration for like a D&D character or something, hope that helps. And I also gave him a sword made out of the skull of a Geosternbergia. So in every other department, Geosternbergia goes in A or S, but in taste, D with Dimetrodon. These next two, they're very similar to each other, so when I talk about one, I'm talking about the other. It's T-Rex and Ceratosaurus. They're both shrink-wrapped, they're both very thin. The T-Rex looks supremely underfed, and yeah, that's just not going to be recipe for a good meal. Now, here's the thing about T-Rex that doesn't really apply to Ceratosaurus. T-Rex has the opportunity to eat all kinds of prey, right? It could be eating Edmontosaurus, it could be eating the rotting corpse of some other dinosaur, it could be being a cannibal. And although Ceratosaurus could also have this wide range in diets, Tyrannosaurus has such a wide range in terms of like geography. Like one T-Rex could be eating freshly killed Alamosaurus, and farther north, another starving to death. So you really don't know what that T-Rex is going to taste like, because with animals like bears, what they're eating affects how they taste. This goes with cows, chickens, any sort of animal. Its diet will affect its taste. So that's why I'm putting T-Rex in C, because one T-Rex is eating freshly killed Edmontosaurus, and it's not eating rotting corpses and having to chew on the bone. And another T-Rex, it has to chew on the bone. It has to eat roadkill. And yeah, Ceratosaurus, it's just, predators usually don't taste good. And that's why we don't eat them often. So they both go in C. Joining Mosasaurus in B tier is Lystrosaurus. Now, I know some people don't like pig. I'm not the biggest fan of bacon, but I love every other part of the pig. And Lystrosaurus is just a lizard pig. It's kind of ugly, right? But it's kind of cute ugly. Kind of like a pig. And in Jurassic World Dominion, there's kind of a throwaway line in the extended cut about Lystrosaurus are rare and how the dude pays for the Lystrosaurus. Now granted, it does go to fight in a ring, but I bet that little Lystrosaurus would have been good eating. So yeah, B tier. And joining its other aquatic friend and Lystrosaurus in B tier is Dunkleosteus. High-key, getting tuna fish vibes. I don't think Dunkleosteus would be super greasy or stringy or chewy. I think it would be like tuna. A Dunkleosteus would be like tuna. Now maybe that's a bit of a stretch there. A lot of this list has been based off vibes. And bonus, when you catch a Dunkleosteus, you can keep the skull and either sell that or keep it as a badass house decoration. Stomping its way into S tier is Brachiosaurus. It's essentially a walking whale. It's a gator whale. Assuming this Brachiosaurus is well fed on an all-natural diet, it should taste divine. A slain Brachiosaurus should produce some of the best meat a person could possibly taste. I can't really say much more. I think Brachiosaurus would be delicious, every single part of it, except maybe the tendons. But you know what? They just get sold at discount price, and they would sell. Joining its other ceratopsian brethren in A tier is Sinoceratops. Now, I know a lot of people really dislike the Sinoceratops design. Personally, not that bothered by it. And it just looks like a fattier, chewier Loki Ceratops. So, although I wouldn't prefer it to Loki Ceratops, I'd take it, yeah. And I'm probably paying about $50 less, but that's just because it's fattier and greasier and lower quality meat. So it goes in A. Next is our last dinosaur. And I know I said that most large theropods aren't gonna taste good. However, here's the exception. Acrocanthosaurus. Now hear me out. This Acrocanthosaurus looks like it weighs about 2 to 3 more tons than the T-Rex. It's got this huge hump on its back. I don't want to use the word girthy, but we're gonna say girthy. It's bulky, it's built. This acro looks well fed. So you know what? If the acro looks well fed, it's probably gonna make sure you're well fed when you consume it. I bet that acro is good eating. And if nothing else, you can take the fat from the hump and mix it with the leg muscle and make a burger. Acro burger. And it would be delicious. You're thinking about it right now and you're mouth watering. So kind of some final thoughts before I let you go for today is with all of these dinosaurs, you could get some sort of use out of their hides, right? You know, the Mosasaurus, although it's a little big, its hide is pretty similar to gator skin. And so you could craft leather or boots or coats out of most of these creatures and sell them for profit. And I am aware, when it comes to farming these animals, that is less than tangible. Lystrosaurus and maybe the two ceratopsians and Geosternbergia, if you have enough fish supply, you could probably realistically farm. The rest of these are probably like, this one keeled over and died, or some people formed a private militia and hunted it down, right? So farming a Tyrannosaurus is not feasible. And again, the skeletons of these animals, you could sell them to museums or sell them to people to keep them as private collections. And there's a throwaway line in Jurassic World Dominion about dino bone powder. We'd never learn what it does, but clearly it's valuable. People want that. And this is more applicable to the carnivores like Megalodon, T-Rex, and Mosasaurus. The teeth. You could sell the teeth. If you wanted to start a dino farm, you'd probably make bank off the teeth. So yeah, just some parting thoughts before we end this video. Like I said, this is part 1. Not sure when this video will get out. If you're gonna buy and play Jurassic World Evolution 3, I hope you have an amazing time with the game. It looks great. I'm excited to see what the Jurassic community is gonna be able to build and create with this new game. And yeah, I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you for going on this prehistoric culinary journey with me, and come back for part 2. I've been Abnormal Iguana. Catch you next time.